Greetings and welcome.
Welcome to the Bamcast.
Here we go.
The official podcast of
Bam, 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 bam.
Bam Entertainment, where we talk all things pop culture and geek out over our favorite fandoms.
That's so dope.
This is the podcast for fans by fans.
Hey Bammers, welcome to another episode of the Bamcast. This one I'm really excited about. We actually filmed this one quite a while ago when we did a signing for our comic book box with Donny Cates. Donny is, number one, he's here from Austin. He's just like the coolest guy. It was so much fun being able to talk with him. Hannah and I were able to interview him right before he did the signing. Talked all things Venom, obviously. Talked about him and Ryan Stegman, which was super, super cool just to hear how those two process different things together. Talked about him hitting people up on Twitter and trolling different Twitter people who come up with these outlandish things to say about whatever, whether it's Marvel or whether it's Venom. We also, I believe, got into kind of his writing process, and there was like a retreat and just the style that he does. So this is going to be a really exciting episode where Hannah and I get to hang out with Donny Cates. Check it out. Donny, man, it is so awesome to have you here at BAM Entertainment. Thank you. So cool to have another Austinite here. We're actually, this is our very first interview that we've done here. We just moved into this studio.
I don't know. February?
4 months ago, yeah.
No, it's a great place, man. I dig it a lot.
Yeah, I
it's
appreciate
awesome.
it, dude.
Yeah.
So we got to throw out some questions. I know you are, you and Stegman are getting ready. Is Venom fully done? Or
It's done, man.
It's done.
It's crazy. This new Let There Be Carnage Venom 2 trailer came out. And,
yes.
you know, I was there. You know, I was the writer of Venom when the first film came out. And I just got like inundated with stuff all the time, and it is somewhat nice to with this new trailer to just tell everyone like that's not my fucking problem anymore. Like that's a whole.
It's all somebody else now, huh?
It's somebody else, and I know who the new creative team is, and people are gonna lose their shit.
Really?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I was talking to them. To the guys and gals who are working on the new book, and they were so like people think that like King in Black is kind of our big culmination of like our big 4-year plan and stuff.
Right.
But really Venom 200 is where we've always been going, and so there's going to be most people's like last issues tend to kind of put all the toys back in the box.
Yep, absolutely.
And kind of reset it for the new team.
Yeah.
Ryan and I don't do shit like that.
Come on.
We're gonna in the kind of tradition of Daredevil, right?
Okay.
Is like it's kind of an unspoken thing that if you're the writer of that book, you leave it in the hardest fucking place possible for someone else to come in, And so I'm establishing that with Venom,
like a rite of passage, right?
yeah. And so these new cats that were coming onto the book, when they found out, like, the book that they have to follow me, and they were kind of like bemoaning the idea of like it's a tough act to follow, and I get it, and especially in the place that they put it in. And I just told them, I was like, I followed Jason Aaron on Thor. I have no pity for you whatsoever, dude. Yeah, I had to come in there after Jason Aaron and do something cool. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's cool, and I I was like somewhat consulted on the new film. Like I've had meetings with them, so it's really funny. There's like all this like speculation about like what's gonna happen. Is Null gonna be in it? Are they gonna do all this shit?
Right.
And like I kind of have to sit on my hands because I know everything that happens.
Is that super tough?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure
the
you
worst.
get bombarded with.
Oh yeah.
Everyone, like, come on, man, come on,
like,
let me in.
People sending me their theories and stuff. Also, a lot of people explaining to me who Null is. Which is adorable. And so much fun. I'm just like, read the bio for 2 seconds.
I think I saw that. You put something, I think, about that on Twitter. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, that was...
Well, because I think like CBR or someone said that like that like Venom 2 could be teasing some new mysterious bad guy, and they just had a picture of Null like in the article. It was like the worst clickbait thing they could ever do. And so I just retweeted it and I said, I bet it's Mephisto.
Yes, I saw. That's what I saw.
And then like all of my comments were like, no, it's Null.
I know.
He's the god of symbiotes, and like he was introduced in this run. I'm like, oh, word,
Dude, I love watching you just play with all those
I know,
people.
it's fun.
It was yeah. I definitely went down like the rabbit hole on that with.
I have fun on
Twitter.
Twitter.
I know, man, it was
I've
great.
given up on taking anything seriously.
Yeah.
I got it in my head a long time ago, especially with like trolls and stuff like that. That like the possibility that I'm arguing with like a 12-year-old is super high. You know, and so like I've just given up on fighting with anyone.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly, man. That's awesome. Another question I wanted to ask was, I know a lot of times, obviously, we're in a music city here.
Yeah, sure.
I got a lot of musician friends, and you know, when they're doing albums, we often hear that they're, you know, I just listening to someone the other day was saying they're listening to a Bonnie Raitt album, and you can kind of hear how that starts to get intertwined
Sure,
in like
yeah.
the new stuff that they're writing.
Yeah.
When you sit down on a new project, is there anything that you're doing that is like you're you know reading something that somebody else you know had written before, or how do you gain that inspiration? What's that kind of thing that you draw from?
I tend to, when I'm starting on a new book, I tend to kind of put blinders on and not read any comics.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Because like I don't want to. It sounds weird, but I don't want to write Marvel comics. I want to write my comics and like the kind of stuff that I would want to read.
Right.
And so like, you know, like when I was starting up on Thor or like Doctor Strange and stuff like that, like Jason Aaron's my favorite guy.
Yeah.
And I had to just stop reading his stuff because I mean, inevitably it'll soak in and you'll just start taking their voice.
Yes.
And doing their thing.
Yeah, even if
right?
you don't mean to.
If you don't mean
just
to,
there,
it just comes in, right?
Right.
And so I like to read a lot of novels and stuff. I'm doing this new thing with Stegman, which I can't talk about, but I'm like reading a lot of like really fucked up like Bukowski and like it's about like mental illness and shit.
Oh,
so I'm just
wow.
like really trying to like dive in on that and like stop taking my meds and just go.
That's a head screw right there, huh?
Yeah, it's real fun. It's real fun to be insane and writing something. I'm on my meds for any of my any of my people who work at the Disney Corporation.
Any concern?
Fully on them.
employees.
Yeah.
I'm fine. But as far as music goes, yeah, it's really helpful for me actually because I write so many books.
Yeah, dude.
And switching gears between something like. Oh man, I almost just said that name of my new book. I almost just totally fucked up.
We can edit it too in post.
Switching gears between something like Thor that is very austere and very serious, and I write it in a third-person captioning, which is something that fell out of style, and I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Someone on Twitter goes, "Who's narrating Thor? Like, who is that voice?" And I was like, "It's fucking me. Like, I'm telling you a story.
yes.
Have you ever read a book? Like, that's how it works."
Exactly.
But then, like, switching from that to something like, redneck or crossover, which is very playful.
Right.
You know, it's such a genre switch. So
Yeah,
I
man.
have playlists for
Okay.
every book that I do. I cannot listen to anything that has lyrics. So a lot of it is like soundtracks.
Nice. Okay.
This new book that I'm doing with Stegman, I'm listening to the Mandy soundtrack. Which is
interesting.
real fucked up.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of see where this is heading a little bit.
Yeah,
huh?
it's gonna be real fucking weird.
That's awesome.
And then for a new book I'm doing at Marvel, I'm listening to the Doom soundtrack, the video game,
good.
which
Sure.
if you don't know is fucking crazy. I've never played the game, but it sounds like metal. It's just like doom metal, pun intended, I suppose. But there's no guitars on it, even though it sounds like guitars because
Really?
the composer just auto tunes a chainsaw the entire time.
Are you serious?
He recorded a chainsaw and then put it through a distortion pedal and then just like moves it around in like octaves and shit. And then there's like sometimes where like the score will just drop out and he'll just let it rip as a fucking chainsaw. And so like this new thing I'm doing for Marvel is real fucking mean.
Yeah. It's like get you in that mood where it's just like
yeah, I need to hit things.
Yeah.
It's really this new thing I'm doing is really like I don't know. I'm trying to pull something off that I've never really done. I think that books I think that books, for the most part, the only way that they can kind of fail is like, I don't know, like the death of art is not someone hating something. The death of art is someone being fucking bored.
Right.
You know, it is
That's good.
like if you read something and it makes you really happy that I've done, it makes you like feel joyous or happy or cry and everything, then I've done my job. But I've also done my job if you read a book and you're fucking furious.
Yeah.
You know, like my job is to not. I don't sell candy.
Right.
You know, I sell like emotions. Right.
Yes.
And this new book is specifically designed to make people furious. And
now I'm getting excited.
Really excited about it because I've just done 5 years on Venom, which is a very heartfelt story about a man learning how to be good and learning that he is good and has been good the entire time and learning how to be a father and all these sweet things. And this new book is just a whole bunch of fuck you. And it's just I'm just over being sweet.
Yeah. It's time to take a break, shift
Well,
gears, huh?
it's weird because I've weirdly like earned Marvel's trust, and so I pitched this new thing, and I told them in the pitch, I was like, I want to make people upset, and they were like, that's a weird sales pitch, but fucking go for it, I guess. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Which reminds me like of a I know it's off topic.
I love it. Let's do it.
When I wrote Death of the Inhumans, I turned the project down like 3 times. And then Dan Buckley, who's the president, came to me and he was like, okay, what if I told you you can do anything you want in this book, carte blanche.
Yeah.
But all I want you to do is get people talking about the Inhumans.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, dude, but
you know what that means?
I'm gonna have to kill a dog. I'm gonna have to kill Lockjaw.
Yeah.
And it was a shit show in the room at the retreat. As I just told everybody in the room, I was like, for the longest time, Inhumans has been like chess playing and politics and everything, but we've always said that we want the Inhumans to be Game of Thrones in space, but like we never actually fucking do it,
right?
Because Game of Thrones is fucking brutal.
Yeah, they don't care. They're killing off the mains and what?
Yeah, like
episode 3.
they just straight murder people like all the time, And I was like, so what I want to do is just John Wick in space. I want to make it like really streamlined and simple. And I just stopped talking and waited for people to understand what John Wick in space would mean when it came to the Inhumans.
Oh,
and it was
they made the dog correlation.
Yeah, and it was Dan Slott in the room where it dawned on him, and he was like, "No, you can't kill Lockjaw!" And like everyone just started fucking screaming at me at once, man. And then it was Joe Quesada who like stepped in and was like, "Look at how fucking mad all of you are, and look at how you're all talking about the Inhumans. That's why we should do it." And so
oh, dude, that's badass.
I continue to kill dogs in books.
Yeah, hey, if you're gonna get people talking, that's gonna do it.
You gotta kill dogs.
Think about it too with the Game of Thrones analogy. That was the first time that we start falling in love with characters, and then they're gone.
Yeah, don't get attached to shit.
Yeah, exactly. And you're always like try not to, and thinking who's gonna actually be around at the end. And oh yeah, that.
Well, even with my Thor book, like I'm in the room, I was talking about my first arc and Thor becoming a herald.
Yeah.
And everything like that, and then Galactus is revealed that he was just gonna like use him to like devour all these worlds and like commit like genocide like all over the place. And that's not a new thing for that cat. Like he's like he's the biggest mass murderer in the galaxy, right? And then I kind of got to the end of the story and kind of figured it out in the room, and they were like, well, what happens with Galactus? And I was like, well, Thor fucking kills him. He's fucking dead. And they were like, well, you can't just kill him. And I was just like, I'm not killing him. Like, what would Thor do? Like, what would Thor's just going to be like, all right, well, that was fucked up. Have a good day. Like, it's Thor, dude. Like, Thor's not going to let that shit slide.
Hell no.
So I just fucking murdered him. People get mad at me, like speculators, like I'll introduce a bad guy, like Null, right?
Yeah.
And people were like so into Null. People really liked that guy. And then the King in Black came around. People were like shocked that he died. And I was like, well, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Like when it's Eddie versus Null at the end of it, like one of those characters has been around for 30 years.
Yes.
And the other one is like some fucking weird new like goth king. He's just like the most edgelord dude in the world.
Yes.
But I will say for anyone hearing this that darkness never dies, and I wouldn't just sell off your Null first appearances just yet.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I love that about your writing style. Because I mean, obviously there's so many different arcs, so many different characters, but that's the thing to me. The anticipation of the unknown where you just don't know what's coming next.
Yeah.
That is like what I feel like just keeps people coming back. It's when you can kind of see, okay, I know where this is going now. I'm just along for the ride to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh shit, I did not see that coming. Now what?
Right. It's always funny to me when I'm starting on a new arc or something like that, or I introduce like a mysterious new thing or anything like that, and people try and guess like all over the place. And I always thinking, I never tweet it, but I always think in my head, like, when have you guys ever been right? Like you've never, like
But there's certain they are, right?
Yeah, but I'm better at this than you.
It's why I'm writing.
Yeah, I promise you're not gonna get it right. I promise you. And the fact that like, and here's the thing, is like every one of the things that they guess, I've already been through that in my head, and I've already decided that, like, no, I'm not going to fucking do that because that's the obvious way to go.
Exactly.
I want to, zig where everyone thinks I'm going to zag, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, there is kind of a formula to it, right? And, like, so, like, that new Star Wars film that came out, whatever the fuck it was called, Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
Is that right? Like, that film... 10 out of 10 times zigged when you thought it was going to zag, right?
Oh, 100% did.
To the point where you never really got the satisfying thing.
Right.
But like if you're going to zig 10 times, well then or if you're going to zig 9 times, the final zig should just be giving people what the fuck they want.
Give them the payoff.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Right? So like in my book Thanos Wins, for instance, like I zigged when everyone thought I was gonna zag every single time, but in the end, fucking Thanos is gonna beat the shit out of Thanos. I'm gonna give you what you want,
right?
Eventually,
you're just not gonna know how I'm gonna get there.
Yeah, but like with that new Star Wars film, just like.
Oh, I think we all sat there at the end, like
let Luke Skywalker fucking take on the Empire with his fucking laser sword. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why are we all here? You know, like every time I fucking hate Star Wars. And like, it's like every time we're in a fucking council or a senate, I'm like, there's wizards outside with laser swords. What the fuck are we doing in here?
Why are we talking about
Why
this?
are we talking about anything? Go fucking do laser swords. Anyway, I could go off on a jag about stupid
awesome.
Star Wars is.
That is awesome.
You said retreat. Is that often how the writing process is?
Not anymore. I mean, it used to be
sure.
that we like 4 times a year we would all like it's generally all the so like Marvel employs like anywhere to like 30-40 writers, but there's only, I don't know, it fluctuates between like 12 and 15 exclusive guys and girls.
Okay.
And so it's just us that go to the retreats. And it's all of us in like a big circular room, and then all the editors, and then often like the little corners are like the theme park guys and the toy guys and like the movie guys who never say a word and take lots of notes, and like the TV show guys who occasionally pop in. Like there was one thing can I talk about this? The She-Hulk TV show got announced, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, fuck. There was a writer in the room who pitched the idea of taking the she off of it and just being like, this is just going to be Hulk, right? And he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna call her She-Hulk anymore. Like she's just Hulk. And just like from the corner of the room, there's a TV guy goes, don't do that. And we were like, oh really? Why? And he's like, just don't.
So they don't tell you like the reason. They're just like.
Occasionally they will
cool.
tell us shit. Like if we start to like step on shit that they're gonna do, they don't tell us not to do it. They just make us aware that like, hey, this thing might be out before that, you know?
Okay.
And so like just be wary of that. But like no, like the Disney folks never come off the mountain and tell us not to do anything. I don't know. I always try and sneak cursing into my books, and I've only ever gotten one out.
Yes, they're good.
And I do it all the fucking time.
What was it? What did you get in there?
In Doctor Strange,
Really?
Doctor Strange was fighting Loki, and they were having this like big sorcerer battle, and Zelma, his kind of like protege, did this, wanted to stop them fighting. And so did this spell that's actually from Brian K. Vaughan's run, The Oath.
Oh, sweet.
Where it just turns off magic for like 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
And she was like, there, like no one can do any spells. You guys just like stop measuring wands and just like talk this out. And Doctor Strange goes, are you out of your mind? Like, I'm just a guy now, and he's still a god. And Loki just like punches him through like 14 walls. And that last phrase where he says he's still just a god, I placed the caption on the next panel of just a caption where it said God, and then Strange, and the next panel gets up and he goes, "Damn it." Yeah. And so if you read it in order, it says,
like,
"God damn it,"
gotcha.
and
You
it just
did it.
completely slipped by, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I got one."
You know, there's one Disney exec out there who's just like, man, that's the
saw it?
one that got away.
I know.
He did it. He finally got us.
And my editor at the time was like real careful with that shit, and people still are like standards and practices. Luckily, are a bunch of really great people, and think that I'm very funny and how I try and get away with shit. I'm always trying to sneak in like Batman jokes and shit, and they always come back with like, Donnie, you know you can't do this. And I'm like, I know,
but they love it.
it's fun though. Like for
awesome,
instance,
man.
like the character of Bats from, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, I don't care. The character of
Edit this
Bats
out.
from Doctor Strange, the joke was that dog's name was gonna be Batman.
Oh, dude.
And Doctor Strange just refused to say it, and the dog was always just like, "Why won't you call me by my name? My name is Batman." And it would always get clipped off,
Just like
and,
right there.
And Strange was gonna be like, "That name is so stupid. I'm never calling you to do that." And it just got obliterated by
dude.
standards and practices. And so I was like, "All right, I'll just call him Bats. That's fine." And now that's the name of my dog, Bats.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got it. Well, I fucking killed that dog and brought it back as a ghost. So
Yes.
I thought to karmically balance things
Nice.
out, I would bring a dog.
Yeah, bring balance back to the universe.
Yeah.
What kind of dog do you have?
It's a little beagle.
Oh,
Yeah, which is pretty. In the book, I have Bats tattooed on me.
Oh, dude,
He's
that's awesome.
He's a basset hound in the book. It's really fucked up. I was at a Comic-Con once, and this little kid in the audience, it was New York Comic-Con, so it was packed. It was like the biggest hall besides like Hall H or whatever the fuck, you know. And this little kid stands up, and I'm like there with like the editor in chief and like all my bosses and stuff. And I was just, I don't know, I wasn't thinking. And this little kid goes, in Doctor Strange, I really love the character of Bats. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he was like, I wanted to ask, I have a basset hound myself. Like, why did you choose a basset hound? And I was like, oh, well, I did research on the dog, and I needed a dog that was small enough to where its corpse could fit into a duffel bag. And the kid's face just like fell, and like C.D. Sobolski like covered his mic. He's like, what the fuck is the matter with you? And I was like, well, asked and answered. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
That's what you guys told me to do.
Doctor
up here.
Strange brings him in a duffel bag to Asgard to I don't know.
Oh, dude, that's amazing. Yeah. I got one final question for you, and I just love knowing this. Is there a series that you look back on and you're like, that I had the most fun with, or even if it was super complicated, it was just the one that I got the most satisfaction from?
Oh, I don't know. I've had a bunch. Really, whatever I'm working on at the time is kind of my baby, right?
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay.
I had a lot of fun on Thanos Wins. I was just at Marvel for the first time. It was my first gig, and it was like I started on it like months before Thanos became a household name. So like I was like telling my buddies and stuff. I was like, dude, I got a gig and I'm writing Thanos, and they were like, I don't know
Who's that?
that is. But by the time it came out, like Infinity War had come out. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
So that was really fun because at the time it was kind of a low tier character.
Right.
And so I just got to do whatever the fuck I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I got to work with Jeff Shaw, who's an artist that I've been working with for over 10 years now.
Oh, dude.
And we arrived at Marvel at the same time. I guess, though, in the grand scheme of things, you know, till the day I die, I'm going to be the Venom guy.
Yeah.
Like, no matter if I never come back to it ever again, I will
Right.
never touch it ever again.
You're always linked to
I
it.
will forever be that guy, which
Yeah.
is rad for me because that was my gateway into comics. Like,
Oh.
Venom was my dude.
Oh, dude.
Like,
Okay.
when I took over the book, it was his 30th year anniversary.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'm 36, so I was like 5 or like 4.
That's amazing.
Or whatever. And I found this comic. And it like led me into comics, which led me into sculpting because I grew up poor and I couldn't afford the figures, so I sculpted
dude.
all these Venom statues, which you can Google and find.
Oh my
'cause
gosh.
Marvel likes to trot them out. And then that sculpting got me a scholarship into art school where I studied comics, which led to my internship at Marvel, which led to me writing my own comics, which led to me coming back to Marvel and taking over that series.
Full circle.
Which also in 2018, when that book came out, I was doing a signing in MegaCon, and during that signing, I met my wife. And so like Venom's kind of responsible for like every good thing I have in my entire life.
That's amazing.
And so it was a joy to be able to contribute to that mythology. And like, even if like, whatever, in like 5 years, someone just comes in and smashes it all and retcons all of it. I don't care. Like we did our thing, so I'm really proud of that, I might have one more trick up my sleeve with that character a little bit later.
Ooh, I love these. Get some Easter eggs here.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll have to say it's that guy.
And that's so cool, man.
Has to
Just
be.
that you have that like such a personal connection.
Yeah.
I mean, starting from like your entry into the very thing that is shaped so much of your own life,
Right.
and meeting your wife, like that's just awesome. So. Donny, we love having you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been awesome. Now we get to go sign a whole bunch of.
Let's
by
do
we,
it.
I mean you. We'll we'll do all the work and keep feeding you and.
I'll get you beer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much, man.
Hey, thank you, man.
That's it for another Bamcast, but we don't stop here.
Really?
Find us on all the socials at The Bambox. We do everything from live streaming to giveaways. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday for a new episode. Plus, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review.